We welcome Bruce Gagnon.
Good evening. It's great to be here with you all tonight. When I moved to Maine 3 years ago, I began to really listen to hear what people in my new state were talking about. And what I heard from them over and over again was the word jobs. The textile industry in Maine is gone. The shoe industry in Maine is gone. The paper mills are even closing now as they cut timber and ship it out of the country to be processed in other countries. Jobs are moving overseas. The tax base is drying up. Education funding is being cut all across the state. Roads and bridges are falling apart in Maine, and social spending is being cut. But there's plenty of money for endless war. As we see, the Pentagon budget has grown by 48% during the administration of King George II, while at the same time 48 million Americans go without health care in this country. Let me ask you this question. What is the #1 industrial export product of America today? And when weapons are your #1 industrial export product, what is your global marketing strategy for that product line? War. That's right. The more, the better, right? Last April, I was in Colorado Springs for the annual Space Foundation conference. This Colorado Springs is where the headquarters of the Air Force Space Command is located. And on their headquarters building, right over their doorway, is their slogan that reads, "Master of Space." Well, they had 8,000 people at this conference, military personnel and aerospace industry executives. And they trucked in busloads and busloads of students from all over the region, indoctrinating them about space. There are 5 military bases in Colorado Springs today. 350,000 people live within the city of Colorado Springs, and 47% of those people work for the military-industrial complex. At my table back there is a man by the name of Bob Hunt. He's a member of Veterans for Peace in Huntsville, Alabama. They hosted one of our space organizing meetings there because in Huntsville they have Redstone Arsenal and a NASA facility, a place where the Nazi scientists were brought at the end of World War II to create the U.S. space program. And Bob just told me that 75% of the people that work in Huntsville work for the military-industrial complex. Now, friends, I want to say something to you. That when you have military production increasingly as the major employment opportunity in America, when weapons are your #1 industrial export product of your nation, it is going to be virtually impossible to stop war until you deal with the jobs issue. Right now, they're working overtime at weapons facilities in this country, resupplying the military for the Iraq and Afghanistan war, and to resupply Israel with bunker buster bombs and cluster bombs. But still, that's not enough. The Pentagon now says that space will be the next round of the arms race, what they call the largest industrial project in the history of the planet Earth, necessitating so much money that they say they are going to cut the entitlement programs in order to pay for the arms race in space. Now, friends, what are the entitlement programs in America today? Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and what's left of the welfare program after Bill Clinton got through with it. These are the programs that the military-industrial complex has targeted to defund in order to pay for an arms race in space. Is this what you want? No. Space technology today coordinates all warfare on the earth. During the 2003 shock and awe attack of Iraq, 70% of the weapons that were used in the initial attack were guided to their targets by space technology. Today, Israel's unmanned aerial vehicles flying over Lebanon, identifying targets, are guided and directed by U.S. satellite technology. And so the Pentagon says whoever controls space is going to win all the wars on the earth below. Whoever controls space will be the Ubermeister of the planet below. And the Pentagon is now saying that they will actively deny other countries access to space. And today they are working on developing anti-satellite weapons to destroy other countries' satellites in space. A new arms race. Off we go. The Pentagon says that because of corporate globalization and the New World Order, we're not going to have industrial jobs in America anymore. It makes no sense to pay somebody $20 an hour in Detroit, where today they have the highest unemployment rate in the nation, when you can go to China and pay somebody a couple dollars a day to make cars. And the Pentagon is saying that what we are going to do under the New World Order, every country is going to have a different role. And our job in America, the Pentagon says, will be security export, which means endless war to suppress opposition to corporate globalization all over the world. And it's all going to be tied together with space technology. Preemptive first strike attack. No more treaties. They're saying we're not going to do no more stinking treaties. One Pentagon operative said, and I quote, "Hitler never had to ask permission to invade another country, and we will not either." Now, friends, what does it say about the collective soul of our nation when we have to have endless war in order to put food on the table of working people all across America? What does it say about us as people? We will never end war until we deal with America's addiction to military spending and our community's addiction to the Pentagon. It's like an alcoholic sitting at the bar. You got to have another drink, and then another one. And we have to have another war and another one. The time has come for us to call for a national movement to convert the military-industrial complex. Why can't, with our tax dollars at these weapons facilities all over America, why can't we build a world-class public transportation system so Sandy Kelso can put his bicycle on a train, on a bullet train, and get to the West Coast in a short period of time? Why not? Why can't we, with our tax dollars, put a solar collector on every house and business in the United States of America? Why can't we do that? Solar, since I moved to Maine, I learned solar even works in Maine, right? Imagine the jobs created doing that. And why can't we at these military production facilities with your tax dollars build windmills? Why can't we produce windmills for our communities? I was in Kansas recently and I learned that Kansas is the Saudi Arabia of wind. Why can't we have windmill farms in Kansas? Polls are now showing that the public opposes the Iraq War, and that there is growing restlessness amongst the people, looking for answers and positive direction for a way out from behind this 8-ball. The Republicans aren't going to lead us. The Democrats are also controlled by corporate money. Both parties support the empire. You remember John Kerry during the debate? I remember what he said. That if he was elected, he would do a better job of killing terrorists than George W. Bush. And John Kerry said in those debates, if I'm elected, I will spend $100 billion more on the Pentagon than George W. Bush. I heard it. So why can't the peace movement today and the environmental movement and the labor movement join together to create a unified demand calling for the conversion of the military-industrial complex with our tax dollars, creating jobs for people all over this nation as jobs are leaving this country like rats off a sinking ship. This would end our addiction to fossil fuels. It would end our addiction to endless war. And it would create a sustainable industrial policy that would help us save this planet for the future generations. Friends, the time has come for us to heal the broken heart and the broken spirit of America. The native people talk about the sacred hoop, how everything is connected and everything is related. The things that crawl and the things that swim, the things that fly, we're all related to each other. We have to heal the sacred hoop. Thank you all very much. Industrial export product of America today. And when weapons are your #1 industrial export product, what is your global marketing strategy for that product line? War. That's right. The more, the better. And what I heard from them over and over again was the word jobs. The textile industry in Maine is gone. The shoe industry in Maine is gone. The paper mills are even closing now as they cut timber and ship it out of the country. The Pentagon budget has grown by 48% during the administration of King George II, while at the same time 48 million Americans go without health care in this country. Let me ask you this question. What is the #1 industrial?
We welcome Bruce Gagnon.
Good evening. It's great to be here with you all tonight. When I moved to Maine 3 years ago, I began to really listen to hear what people in my new state were talking about. Processed in other countries. Jobs are moving overseas. The tax base is drying up. Education funding is being cut all across the state. Roads and bridges are falling apart in Maine, and social spending is being cut. But there's plenty of money for endless war. As we see the Pentagon